Revelation 13 verse 1, we read, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea." Now we saw in Daniel chapter 7 that when a beast arises out of the sea, it is a kingdom. But when the beast arises out of the earth, it is a king. Okay? So he saw a beast rise up out of the sea. This is the kingdom of the Antichrist, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Upon his heads the name of blasphemy, because this kingdom is going to belong to the Antichrist, who will serve Lucifer. Now we go back to Revelation chapter 12 verse 3. We read that a great red dragon, this is Satan, was seen, and he had 7 heads and 10 horns also. But he had 7 crowns upon his head, rather than 10 crowns. He has 7 crowns upon his heads. Now if we can look at this picture, it'll help us to understand a little bit better here. We got a red dragon with 7 heads, and we got a beast coming out of the sea with 7 heads also. They both have 10 horns each, okay? The difference between them is that the red dragon, has 7 crowns, not 10 crowns, 7 crowns, and each crown is upon each head, because God has given or allowed Satan to have 7 kingdoms, and the 7th kingdom, the last kingdom, will be the kingdom of the Antichrist, which is represented by this beast who has 7 heads also, and this shows us that it belongs to the Satan. 7 heads, 10 horns, but 10 crowns instead of 7 crowns. Now each crown is upon each horn, because the Antichrist is going to have this kingdom, although he's going to serve Satan, and this kingdom he's going to have 10 kings under him, 10 kings serving him. That's what each crown represents, a king. But on this red dragon, each crown represents a kingdom. Now continue on to verse 2. "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon," see the dragon now that we saw in chapter 12, "gave him his power and his seat and great authority," because Satan is going to be the one behind the scenes controlling the Antichrist. Now I wrote this in my book on page 105, and I want to point out the similarities, okay? Because the beast of Revelation chapter 13 that comes out of the sea, its mouth is like a lion. Notice that. Its mouth is like a lion, has feet like that of a bear, looks like a leopard, and has 10 horns and 7 heads. Now if you go to Revelation chapter 7, you'll notice that the 4 beasts of Daniel chapter 7, that the first one is like a lion. Compared to this one that has a mouth like a lion, the first one is like a lion. The second one is like a bear. This one has feet like that of a bear. The third one is like a leopard, and this one looks like a leopard, the one seen in chapter 13. The fourth one has 10 horns. The fourth beast in Daniel chapter 7 has 10 horns. And this beast coming out of the sea in Revelation 13 has 10 horns also, but this one has 7 heads. Now as we notice here that the dragon, which is Satan, gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And we see in Daniel chapter 8 verse 24, "And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power." And in 2 Thessalonians 2:9 we read, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders," because it's the working of Satan. Satan is the one giving the authority to the Antichrist and to that last kingdom. And if we go back to Revelation 13 and we go to verse 4, it says, "And they worshipped the dragon, Satan, which gave power unto the beast." See, because the devil himself has given this power to this beast. And the beast could be talking about the Antichrist, It could be talking about the kingdom of the Antichrist, or it could be talking about both at the same time. And verse 3 we read, "And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast." And I think that this applies to both the Antichrist and his kingdom, the last kingdom of Satan, which is going to be from Europe. That's my opinion. So they're going to wonder, the world's going to wonder after the beast. One is because the Antichrist is going to be killed. He's going to come back to life. His deadly wound was healed. And people are going to be like, oh my goodness, this is kind of like what Jesus did, right? He resurrected from the dead. But Europe has been revived. And I believe that Rome was Satan's sixth kingdom, sixth head, and that it has been revived as Europe, which is a miracle because many people don't even know how Europe got together after all the wars they had in the last century. But this is going to cause all the world to wonder after the beast, okay? And verse 4, "And they worshiped the dragon," they worshiped Satan, "which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him?" It applies to both the Antichrist and his kingdom, because it's not going to be like everyone's afraid to make war. You know, countries are afraid to make war with an individual, but it's talking about both the Antichrist and his kingdom. And it's interesting that the scriptures tell us that they worshiped the dragon, who gave power unto the beast. They may not be literally saying that they worship Satan at this time, but by the very fact that they actually worshipped this beast and his kingdom, they're actually worshiping Satan. I believe that to be the case also with those people who reject God and worship Darwin and give him glory and all this praise about how intelligent he was. I believe that they're actually worshiping Lucifer, and they will be accountable for it on Judgment Day. And verse 5, we read, "And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, because the Antichrist is only going to have this power of ruling, taking over the earth basically, for half of the 7-year Great Tribulation. Not for the 7 years, but only for 42 months, as we read here. And this is after he kills the 2 witnesses. He's going to have 42 months to rule upon this earth, although God will still be in control of everything that's happening. So with that, we end this first part of chapter 13, and we'll continue with verse 6 in the next video. God bless.